Patch 25.19 just dropped, and if you are jungling right now, you need to know this tier list, because the champions that carry games below Emerald are completely different from the ones dominating Diamond and above. What works in Low Elo can actually be trapped in High Elo, and if you pick the wrong jungler, you are basically handing the game over. So in this video, I'm breaking down the best jungle picks for both Low Elo and High Elo. Who to climb it, who to avoid, and how this tier list shifts as your opponents get better. Let's dive right in. Let's start with Low Elo below Emerald, and right away I've got to talk about the absolute monsters of this patch. Warwick, Briar, Amumu, Volibear and Trundle. Warwick is, as always, a Low Elo god. His kit is simple but brutally effective. Warwick's kit consists of point and click suppression, lifesteal, which makes him nearly unkillable in every duel, and a straightforward path that doesn't require a deep understanding of jungle tempo. You pick Warwick, you win fights, and you tilt your opponents. Briar is next, and while she's not great in higher ranks, in Low Elo she's terrifying. Players often don't respect her early power spike, and if you get a lead, you just run people down. Yes, she can int if misplayed, but in Low Elo chaos, her aggression is rewarded far more often than punished. Amumu is an evergreen pick for this bracket. He has one of the easiest gank patterns in the game: walk up, bandage toss and cry on people. But his real power is his team fighting. In Low Elo games almost always devolve into 5v5s, and no champion provides more reliable CC and fight winning ultimates than Amumu. Volibear is another champ that thrives below Emerald. He's tanky and straightforward, and his early ganks are oppressive. His tower dive power with his ultimate is especially punishing in Low Elo, where players often don't respect how hard he can dive. And finally Trundle. Trundle is slept on by many, but his ability to 1v1 almost any melee jungler and his insane sustain make him a nightmare. Plus his pillar can single-handedly win fights in low coordination games. These 5 champions, Warwick, Briar, Amumu, Volibear and Trundle, are the cream of the crop for Low Elo climbing. Next up, the S tier for Low Elo: Nocturne, Wukong, Udyr, Mordekaiser, Jarvan and Diana. Nocturne is incredible for solo queue because of how much pressure his ultimate puts on the map. You don't need insane mechanics to push ult and shut down squishy carries, and his clear speed makes him farming to 6 super easy. Wukong is a fantastic team fighter with reliable engage. His clone gives him safety in skirmishes, and his ult can completely flip fights. In Low Elo, where coordination is low, his ability to disrupt and deal AoE damage makes him a consistent carry threat. Udyr is simple but effective. In lower ranks, players struggle to kite him or punish his straightforward pathing, and he just farms to become a tanky fast-moving brick that runs down squishies. Mordekaiser jungle might seem odd, but in Low Elo he works because nobody knows how to play around his realm of death. He can isolate and delete key targets, and with his sustain he is hard to punish. Jarvan is always a great pick because of how reliable his ganks are. The EQ combo is simple and effective, and the Cataclysm move can trap carries who otherwise would escape. And Diana rounds out the S tier. Even though she is more skill dependent than someone like Warwick, her AoE damage and engage make her a strong solo queue jungler, especially when paired with Low Elo players who love grouping. Now let's talk about the A tier. Champions like Reksai, Master Yi, Ekko, Viego and Zac. These champions are strong, but they are not quite as reliable in Low Elo. Reksai has great early dueling and gank potential, but her kit requires you to snowball. If you fall behind, she feels useless. In Low Elo, consistency is a big risk. Master Yi, yes, he is infamous. In Low Elo, Yi can absolutely take over games, but smart opponents who will CC shut him down easily, so he is more of a coin flip compared to champions like Warwick. Ekko is flashy and fun, but his jungle clear can be tricky for less experienced players, and his gank timing needs precision. He shines when piloted well, but the execution barrier keeps him out of S tier. Viego is similar, amazing when ahead but heavily reliant on resets. In coordinated play he is terrifying. In Low Elo, resets don't always happen, leaving him less consistent. And Zac, he is a strong tank with great gank angles, but his reliance on team follow-up makes him less reliable. In Low Elo, you might go in and just die because your team wasn't ready. And finally, the B tier, the champions I don't recommend for most Low Elo players. Think of picks like Lillia and Elise. Lillia is strong in the right hands, but she's a kiting farming jungler who doesn't hit her stride until later. In Low Elo, where early fights and skirmishes decide games, she often falls behind before she can scale. Elise is the opposite. All early game, no fallback. If you don't snowball hard, she becomes a liability. In coordinated plays, she can work, but in solo queue, she's just too risky, especially for the lower ranks. In general, B tier junglers are those who either require too much skill expression or depend on teammates who in Low Elo won't play around you. Stick to the best and S tier if you want the smoothest climb. Now let's move to High Elo, Diamond and above. The meta shifts a lot here and the best champions are Qiyana, Reksai and Nidalee. Qiyana jungle is insanely strong in skilled hands. Her burst damage, mobility and river control with her passive makes her a nightmare to deal with. In High Elo, where players can fully utilize her combos, she is one of the best playmaking jungler in the game. Rek'Sai makes a return here, but this time she shines. In High Elo, players know how to abuse her early game dominance, control vision and snowball the map. Her peak potential and tunnel mobility makes her a constant threat. Nidalee is the same story. In Low Elo, she struggles, but in High Elo, where players can land spears and optimize her clears, she is a powerhouse. Her tempo control is unmatched, and in the hands of a good Nidalee player, she can completely suffocate the enemy jungler. In the S tier, we have got Diana, Kindred and Kha'Zix as well. Diana, after her buffs, is amazing. She farms fast, scales hard and has incredible AoE engagement. She requires good timing, but High Elo players make her shine. Kindred is one of the best scaling junglers in the game. More control separates good Kindred players from great ones, and in High Elo you can consistently stack up and become unstoppable. Plus your ult can flip entire fights. And then Kha'Zix, the perfect counter pick in so many matchups. His isolation damage is brutal, and High Elo players know how to create those 1v1 scenarios where he thrives. He is a predator in every sense. The A tier for High Elo includes Sylas, Volibear, Rengar, Jarvan, Nocturne, Graves and Zac. Sylas jungle is niche, but very strong if you know what ults to steal and how to play him. In High Elo, where decision making is sharper, Sylas can be very effective. Volibear still holds value, but he's not as dominant as in Low Elo. High Elo players respect his dives more, and his predictable engages are easier to counter. Rengar is a high skill champ who thrives when piloted by experts. His one-shot potential is insane, but he's not as reliable in every matchup. Jarvan remains solid, reliable ganks and good engages, but he falls off compared to champs with more scaling. Nocturne, while still strong, doesn't get as much pre-value in High Elo, since players war better and position more carefully. Graves is the eternal farming jungler. In High Elo, his damage and scaling are very valuable, but he's not the best carry compared to the true S tier picks. And Zac, much like in Low Elo, is strong but reliant on teammates. High Elo players can capitalize better, but he's still situational. And in B tier for High Elo, we have got Poppy, Warwick, Briar, Kayn and Shyvana. Poppy CC is great, but her lack of tempo hurts her in High Elo, where every second counts. Plus, she is more like a situational pick. Warwick falls off hard because higher Elo players know how to kite and punish him. He is too predictable past Diamond, so you better play him on top lane. Briar is still too coin flip, and in High Elo, smart players exploit her weaknesses. As Troy said, she's too fair in the higher ranks. Well, I would say she's too easy in the higher ranks. Too easy to counter and beat her. Kayn struggles unless you are a master at picking the right form and pathing perfectly. Inconsistent in High Elo, which keeps him down. But sure, one trick still can shine on him. And Shyvana, she is all about scaling, but in High Elo you don't get the time. Aggressive junglers punish her before she becomes relevant. I can count every Shyvana OTP on one hand. She is not that amazing. So that's the full jungle tier list for patch 25.19. broken down for both Low Elo and High Elo. The key takeaway: the champs that dominate below Emerald like Warwick and Amumu aren't necessarily the ones you want to be playing in Diamond and above, where picks like Qiyana, Nidalee and Kindred rise to the top. If you want to climb, play the champions that match your Elo's environment. Don't fall into the trap of copying pro play if you are in low ranks, and don't rely on Low Elo stompers once you move higher. Thanks for watching. If this helped you figure out who to play, drop a like, leave a comment telling me your go-to jungler this patch, and of course subscribe for more tier list updates every patch. Good luck in your climb, and I will see you in the next one.